one more time. Let's jump into the battle bus here. Game number 12 of the NA East Finals is underway. What's at stake? A lot of money, a lot of pride, and of course, that FNCS Axe of Champions 2.0. The battle bus is here. It's a south to north split. We've gotten a little bit of everything today, and the zones are keeping us on our toes.
So what we are going to be looking for, one, if you are just joining us, welcome and where you been, because today has been absolutely fantastic. Some great Fortnite being played, and honestly this whole season. But right now, the stakes. Peterbot and Byla, they were so far ahead coming into today that if they were able to just get enough, they could have secured it even, 2 games ago, but it's stalled a little bit. There's a little bit of room right at the top. However, if they don't go down early, it might as well be over. For everyone else, though, if you're second to 6, you're right on top of each other. A solid performance or just even a little bit better performance than those teams right next to you is tens of thousands of dollars.
And that's what's on the line when we watch the engages go down here. But also, even teams like Trashy, Glace, who have struggled and rivaled their way out of this outside the 20th position or so to get to top 19 today has been a statement in its own, and they can win. If they can pop off, they will also get to that top 10 as well. And that's why we mean there are tens of thousands of dollars on the line here. This is the last game of the finals, your last time to just do your best and get a good placement point.
And once you're eliminated here, your FNCS for this season is over. You are done. You will be watching the match play out. Your position on the leaderboard will be set. So you can bet that every single one of these duos is going to claw. They're going to scrape, and they're going to fight for every tag, every positional advantage, every weapon upgrade they can possibly get their hands on. And right now, Peterbot's weaponry is looking the best it's looked in a hot minute.
Definitely all starting to come together here. And when you need it most, when we've been trying to count on them to have that one big pop-off game to just solidify their championship, will it be here in this last game? If you're an Edgy, an Acorn, what you are hoping for, they go down early, you pop off. A 10, 12, 13, 14 elimination game with the win could just be enough to go ahead and take that #1 spot too.
Peterbot gets a confirmation on the Bizzle. Already getting it rolling. Can they get the points to add up? We saw what second place was doing over on the side. We'll take a look at all of our top teams and what they're able to get rolling as right now. Kanata, Aegis just looting up outside. We'll get a replay of that Elim coming through. We'll see what he's doing, where he's able to hawk, and this is the strength of Dr. Sloan's mythic first AR.
Oh
just
my God.
And one of the best players in NA East gets deleted.
Just like that, quick and easy, wipes his hands clean from the scene, and he is gone like the wind. Peterbot and Byla find themselves a quick 3-point pickup there, and they take one major step towards winning the region. But let's go ahead and look at our other teams on the bubble here. Booga for the first time now, taking some early game tags here from the distance. It's Larson on the other side. He's gotten a little too close for comfort. He's starting to look inwards. Larson's in 11th overall, so this is a big game and big opportunity for him to stay in the tournament here and earn himself a bigger piece of the cake that's available in front of us. A couple tags come in from Miro from the side. Quanti has to step up and potentially back him up here, or they'll come rolling right through him.
But one of the benefits, too, of having, I don't want to say uncontested chonkers because we've seen the shots come through, but there are so many excess shields in here that you can already see that Booga is leaving behind minis because they've been able to pick it up. He has a full inventory, 6 splashes, 6 mini, 3 big pots, and he took some chip there. So he's got plenty of time. Now, we talked about coming in today how it was really a 2-horse race. Now it's turned into a 1-horse race, and everyone else right in the pack. Who is going to be able to sniff out that silver medal? Because again, it is over if Peterbot and Byla do not go down. If they are able to hit the 35 placement mark, the 30 placement mark, I mean, I'm happy to call it if they get to the top 25 because we've seen what they've done there, but we're going to be keeping an eye on everyone everyone else. Because again, while we might know roughly who our winner is going to be, look at these teams. Because this is second in the left corner, third on the right corner, top of the screen is fifth, and there's, what, 17 points separating them?
Nothing. Just barely anything separating these teams. And not only that, they all land in such different locations on the map. So really cool to see how all these teams have managed to find success. It's not about where the zones go. It's not about any of that. It's about how well you play your game. And just the fact that we have such a diverse, not only team pool and selection here, but also the caliber of how long and how many hours these guys have been putting into the game. Kanata and Agers, you know, Acorn and Edgy, we're talking hours, countless hours. They've been competing since the beginning of time. They're still here doing it, and they're just showing us why they are the best.
And again, you talked about kind of the new blood in the new era, and while Peterbot and Byla might not necessarily be household names, they've put up performances before, but nobody predicted this going through. And I said a little bit yesterday, I was like, during the top of the show, I'm like, man, I feel like we kind of forgot about them. They played really well in the first qualifier. Nobody's going to be forgetting about them now with the performance they've put out, but who else can catch them? Somebody else who's had an amazing performance today in particular, and even a little bit yesterday, 2 victory royales over the course of the 11 games so far. Pamso and Thatch from that Lighthouse split.
Hey, there's not many teams that can say we picked up 2 wins over the course of the tournament, so it's either all in or nothing for Pam and Thatch here. This is their rotate, this is their strategy, though. Of course, they have this nice little split drop, and look at that.
I was just about to say, and for the first time in a while, the boat actually pulls over towards them, which gives them a little bit more options on the split route, where typically they're happy to end up coming in and grabbing just whatever is on the leftover of Sleepy, because Sleepy does have a ton of extra loot, and the Sleepy teams are being absolutely harassed, as Booger harasses that team trying to rotate. Headshot, body shot, that's going to make them pretty safe on search.
Big damage right there. Definitely is a step in the right direction. Meanwhile, Voyo and Except are getting tagged as well, and they're going to base up pretty closely. Now, take a look there. It's just wood builds. Booga and Miro going to notice pretty much a chip in the armor there and possibly look for some angles, but no, they're playing for positioning this time around, something different.
Well, and that's because of where the first zone pulled for what is the first time today, and I believe we only had one other zone that was this far north yesterday. We're going up to the north and the west, so we've been a little bit more central / towards the east. We've only really had one absolutely ridiculous zone, which is that water back and forth that I don't think I've ever seen this chapter. But now we're going to see some early rotations going through. But as the analyst talked about when we're talking about the Collider, this team, they're central already. So it doesn't really matter where the zone pulls, because you're going to be able to rotate there, whether it's using the tower that's there or using the launch pad. And we're going to swing on over to what Avery and Muzz are doing, and they're posting up looking for shots.
That's right. This is a great spot to be in. High ground is, of course, key for Kanata, and Adrian's not looking good, though. No HP on Kanata's here. His back is against the wall. He's got a team right on top of him looking to take this fight, and this is what we were talking about with the vehicles. When you are in the vehicle, you can get targeted, you can get shot. You literally start with the foot backwards when you get hit up before you can actually touch down, and it's Day and Clicks on the other side of the wall here, so that's no free team at all. Let's see what's gonna happen.
And then they also have Fable Taco right on the opposite side of him. Him and Golden, they're pinned down here, but you can see they want to push this fight. They're trying to take it, taking the aggression over to the other side, and making sure they replace these walls so they don't get caught with an edit. This is super key because they want to be able to control this position and not get jumped on.
Let's take a look here. Moment intensifies. Kanata and Agers do not really want to take this fight all the way through. Not if it's going to cost them their tournament. They are too close to tasting that silver medal, that potential #1 spot like we talked about here. But hold up. Lose the wall from up above. He has to go ahead and go for the re-exchange here. I love the angle plays right now, but Agers gets punished, and they haven't really found anything from this. They've only been tagged up. Meanwhile, here comes the counter shots. Nothing just yet. Clicks is quick. He starts swinging his way back and forth there, finding his side angles, and so is Day. And Kanata running out of space here. This is actually so bad.
They drop down into one of those tight little crevasses, and that's what we talk about. You have to own as much of the space, because if you get pinned in and Clicks and Day aren't getting harassed from the sides, we've seen what they can do. They will roll over duos, and this is not the time to roll over and take it, but Clicks gets backed off.
Agers fights back. He puts big damage up, and Day is like, nope, I want nothing from this. I'm out of here. He's gonna back on up. And just like that, now you have Threats and Rise up top, putting their 2 cents into the conversation, and then another team shows up here. So there's a little too much chaos going on for the likings of Kanata and Agers. They're trying to play nice, slow, and steady here. They find another opportunity on today. Big tags come in. And that is the power of that auto shotgun, the drum shot. You can just see, it just starts to rip players apart. Not has to play for the save now.
Not able to necessarily get the confirmation over, and you can see how they're going to trade back, but Clicks doesn't want to give him the opportunity. But Oga and Miro, they're paying attention to the feed. They're saying, hey, no confirms going down, no knocks. Hey, this is plenty of points on the board. Rise is actually going to get the confirmation over, doing a little bit of favor for Aegis and Kanata, giving them some room, but Kanata doesn't watch his back, and the third place team goes down to the fourth place team. Miro and Booga say, no, that's our prize money. Get out of here, get out of here.
That's rough, especially when they had the chance to go ahead and do something big this game. And you know what? Vivid's happy right now.
Yeah,
that was our 2 picks going head-to-head. Vivid may have just done it all and solidified what will be his prizing at the end of this. You know, we've been having fun. It's been a very close competition. We'll see what those points look like in the end. You'll see. It has been quite a fierce one. But in the end, Vivid does come out on top. Respects.
I mean, when doesn't he? Everybody's copying Vivid's homework. There's a reason for it. Was one of the best players at NA East back in the day. Honestly, could probably still throw him in these lobbies. They do a little bit of damage, but we're going to swing on over. Roken and Joji currently sitting in 6th place. There's a little bit of room, and honestly, this is very much a change in game place because it seems like everybody realizes that, hey, outside the top spot, there's money to be made. In game number 12, we usually see a lot of outward aggression, people trying to just do what they can to climb up, but they know if they make endgame, there's opportunity for more to come. And right now, Peterbot and Bila saying, hey, we're getting rid of that cannon. We want nobody flying in here. We'll control the variables, but one thing to note, look at the map and look above. They're only 68 damage above Storm Surge, which will do 25 damage every 5 seconds to the teams who have not done enough tags. And this has been the only time they've struggled. And right now, as soon as I call it out, 3 huge tags.
Definitely watching the field like a hawk here. Anything that moves is going to go ahead and get the focus, that laser focus and attention put on it. Wall Taker down to the bottom here, looking pretty solid above the Surge. Edgy and Acorn looking great as well, leading that 2nd place spot still ahead of the competition. Wall Taker and Cold jumped into that last fight head first and got punished this time here, though. They're starting to reset. They're taking it nice and easy, slow and steady, and you can tell their loadout is just a mix of what they can find, trying to make do with the game.
They need to play endgame. We have seen Wall Taker, aka Scented, throughout the entire. He's known as the Low Ground King. In fact, he loves changing his names to all of these ridiculous things. We've seen Low Ground King, we've seen Wall Taker. But if you don't get in that position to abuse what is your strongest trait, it makes it so difficult to pick up points here when you're playing against the best of the best, when all the pressure is on the line. But somebody who thrives in that pressure has been absolutely born in it. Dignitas Miro, Sentinels Boga. If anybody is able to rack off a big game here and push him into 2nd, it could be them. But right now, Edgy and Acorn under pressure, and they're actually going to slam down an armored wall as Edgy has been knocked. Shots are raining in all the way from the side. Acorn trying to stick the revive, but shots bleed through. Edgy gonna get dropped down an end pen, trying to toss this in. Acorn takes a bunch of damage, and Edgy's gonna get finished here in a second. If Acorn doesn't walk up and splash him, Edgy is confirmed. This could be it right here, right now.
That is so unfortunate. Acorn did get the full elim though, so he picks up 1, but 1 is not enough when you lose a teammate in the process. And it's Bila, Peterbot, Quanti, Larson, the other teams that are looking at this fight and shooting inwards. And just like that, they are affecting the storyline here. They are solidifying their placements in this tournament, and they are making it that much clearer to the lobby that we are a problem.
All they have to do is hold on. If Acorn falls, that's it. It's over. Acorn does have a knock on the opposite side of it. We've seen Durola then get picked up from Suscript. So this is a 1v1 against NPen. The biggest thing is he doesn't want to give up the supplies from his teammate. He has to win the 1v1, potentially look to maybe get the card, get the reboot. But you see, his resources are completely vanished, and so is his HP bar. He'll try and drink his 1 mini, but no time, so he's gonna expand the builds out, try and make himself look big, make himself look scary, but it's all a mirage, and you close in on it. He's trying to find the oasis, but at the end of the day, it looks like it is just a barren desert, and NPen is trying to put an end to the miracle run here.
Definitely, and it's time to fight back here. Look, he is relentless with it. He finds Acorn on this low ground, and this is a big opportunity now for NPen to go ahead and shut down the number 2 team. Kanata and Agers are already out. And honestly, if you're Kanata and Agers, you do not want second place out. You do not want what is left of 4th out of the tournament, because that means the standings are up for grabs. That means our top 10 teams have a chance to go ahead and snipe it all up. If the points don't get funneled upwards towards these teams, honestly, prizing is gone. Like, it is definitely up in the air, and someone will take it. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and we've seen every single time we've looked at the leaderboard.
Oh, no.
We're in that top 3. It could be enough. The full gold medal,
no.
a little bit of a slide. 2, last ticket, it doesn't get in. Acorn and Edgy are down. Kanata and Agers are down. Peterbot and Byla are still up on their feet, and at this point, they've looked around. That should be it, unless Booga and Miro do something absurd and clean up absolutely everybody, and Peterbot and Byla go down. That's the only shot, and at this point, I know it's a meme, there's not even a chance. Look at the point difference. Look at the point difference. 64 points separating them. Peterbot, Byla are right at the finish line. They're trying to just stick their chest out and break that tape.
This is it. It's the victory lap at the end of the day right now. But like we said before, there is money on the line, and no way, not Joji, not Rokane as well. They're under some serious hurt right now. Rokane's out. The pressure from the lobby was too much, and we're seeing another team collapse in the last game. It is so worrisome to see how much tournament prizing is now available.
And particularly for Joji and Rokane. Joji has been fantastic this season, but Rokane has been on another level. The solo clutches, the individual efforts to even get them here, all happened by Rokane. Now the pressure is on Joji. What can he do to get them a better finish? What can he do to get them a better payday, to move them up the leaderboard as a solo? But want to know who's looking at all this and being like, hey, this is pretty nice. Cold and Walltaker, they're going to continue to try and climb up the leaderboard. Second is very much in their grasp. Same with Booga and Miro, as they're both sitting in 4th and 5th right now, but 2nd and 3rd are down.
Definitely, they're down and out. And, you know, this really allows us to take a look at the bigger picture from the outside, right? There is so much on the line. It's not just winning the tournament. It's what's on the line for the other teams that are still proving themselves to the region, that they are incredible at Fortnite. They still continue to have what it takes to compete at the top, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th in the FNCS finals of NA East's. No easy feat. We have seen an exceptional day of competition, and this is why it is so important that we celebrate all of our players still battling it out.
And again, don't forget, we had a pretty big announcement this morning going through. The FNCS Invitational in November. You know that's in the back of all of these players' minds, being like, hey, they're looking at the top duos. What can I do to put my name in there, to stick a flag in that stake saying, hey, why am I not invited? Joji could put a question mark in there right now if he's able to put up the individual efforts. What are they going to be able to do?
But he's 138 below here. It's all or nothing now. He has to fight back. It's not looking good. The lobby start to focus in. It's those fresh walls. Again, this is like blood in the water to the big fish in the sea here. You can't have fresh walls being built up, especially when the surge is active. You know players are looking for these opportunities. Joji has to do something big now. He's got the ammo. He's got the heals. He's definitely got the weapon to do everything that he needs to, but he's going to have to commit here.
First placement threshold has been passed. Everyone in the lobby gets 1 point. One who's still on their feet, Peterbot and Byla. That maybe miracle run is closing every time. And like I said, I've basically called it, but what else can they do? As Joji is now holding the 8th place team. This is 6 versus 8 with Avery and Muzz, the OCE Warrior representative, trying to do more. Pamsto goes down. Batch goes down. 7th is out. 6 is out. And all is for the taking right now. Muzz and Avery can do a bunch. Booga and Miro can do a bunch. Walltaker and Cold can push themselves up. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all on the line, all on the table. Who will grab the opportunity?
6 is on the table, 7th is on the table. I mean, we're talking about all the other additional spots here. Teams that are on the bubble can literally pop off and earn so much money. Very rarely does it ever happen this way, where so many of the top 10 teams fall in the last game, and the standings are close enough for players to really jump on up and make that hero effort at the very, very end. Meanwhile, Booga and Miro, though, still fighting for this one right here. 3 elims now. They are in 3rd place. They want 2nd at least. They want to fight for 1st, but we know what's on the line. There's so much here.
The fight for 1st is over. I'm calling it right now. Peterbot and Byla are your NA East champions for Chapter 3 Season 2. They're in the cascading placement points. Even if Miro and Booga eliminated the entirety rest of the lobby and won the match, it would not be enough. Well, it would, but it's not going to happen, as now they're trying to just climb up into it. As Peterbot gets another one, he's putting his statement down. The foot is down. The trophy's on the shelf. They've kicked the step stool away, and they're jumping out with a Sue. Doing everything they can. Pamso and Thatch, we're going to see how they went down, trying to dive in. Pamso, oh, it's so close.
Clarity G claps back, he fights back as we get to jump in with our FNCS champions to be. Peterbot and Byla are here. They're feeling it. You can just tell they're sitting in the box feeling so good as the zone starts to favor them. Can they actually pull off the victory lap? At this point, let's go ahead and see how much they can do in that last game, because the floor is yours, my friends. You have earned it. They have played so well over this weekend. Honestly, almost a perfect set of Fortnite on that day 1 and a great day 2 now.
But Booga and Miro have already pushed themselves into 3rd. Just a couple more points, they'll be able to take 2nd away. Avery looks for the jump shot, doesn't end up taking it. Will hit the pad, but the shots rain down from above. He needs to hold on, needs to find some space. 19 builds, needs to get the walls up, but it's all wood. And does he have enough space? If somebody opens up an edit, that would be disastrous. Teo right on the other side. Larson taking the sky. Mackwood and Donnie trying to get their name in the conversation.
And look, at Peterbot and Byla are poising up for that 2nd position to height. You know they're going to try to do something so big in the end. Can Miro and Booga find a little bit more points, though? It's starting to close in here now. The last game, the last win. Everyone will talk about it. We all know that it's possible, but it's a race here for 2nd right now. Walltaker and Cold, Miro and Booga, they're both trying to do it here. The points are very close. This is a lot on the line here.
There's 8 points separating, but the team in 3rd has been dropped out. Booga and Miro have moved into 2nd place, but can they hold it now? As Walltaker and Cold are trying to do everything they can to pull it away from them. The placement points keep ticking over. Pledge gets Byla. There might not be a full victory lap. As you can see there, Byla actually ends up trading it back over. They went down trying to get the eliminations going through. It's all she wrote for the number 1 spot, but now we have a battle for 2nd as Peterbot is trying to repeat his game 1 performance to have a ridiculous solo clutch, but again, ain't nobody catching Mr. Peter here. As you can see, User trying to find some shots from the side. Yamzo and Dejan are putting the pressure on him. Cold and Scented finding shots towards the backside. A great shot on the low ground and an even better cutoff.
I love the cutoff there. There was definitely a chance to go out and open that edit, but they played for the positioning instead, saying that it's smarter for us to just stay alive right now. And take a look here. Peterbot is down. That is it. The fight for 2nd is on here. Booga and Miro are still up right now. Scented and Cold are in the final stretch now as well. 3 elims separate that. Make it 4 because Booga finds one up top. They're starting to break away. That's onto Yamzo. A heartbreak for Yamzo as well, who was closing in on that top 5th. But now, Dejan has to do it by himself. Well, let's go ahead and focus on the low ground now. Scented is going crazy. Walltaker slides in. They find another one. Nicely done there. Cold will get the full finish. And it's all unfolding here and now.
Miro down, Booga down. They could take away 2nd. They're in 3rd right now, using the splashes, using everything they can. The battle for 2nd is on. There's leaderboard implications all over the board as Dejan is trying to hold on to a 7th place spot, but we're keeping eyes on Cold and Walltaker. A couple elims, a couple more placement points, and they will rip that 2nd place away from Booga and Miro. They've already pushed themselves into 3rd, but Chimp is trying to get himself into the top 10 with a great shot there on the TK. Hey, and we got some solo riders running around. There's some plays to be made here.
A lot of plays to be made, a lot of points to be picked up here. Chimp slides around the side. He has broken into that top 10, but one more elim will do enough to solidify it. Meanwhile, a shot from the back. It's Cold. It's a wintertime play here. What can he do? There goes the edit. Nicely done. Chimp's hurt. Back against the wall. Turns around. He is just too good. He's quick on his feet. The Siphon's going to keep him up now. 41 HP. Minis in hand. But do you play for the fight or do you go for the heal?
He has to tick over at least one more placement.
This is for
a
second.
2v1v2. This is for second place right now. What can Cole do? The redemption run from the performance last episode. He's dipping back.
He knows it!
He finds it! Cole rips away second place from Booga and Miro. Donnie and Mac would put themselves into the top 20 with the finish, but the story, Peterbot and Byla in first, and the fight for second, and the young gun, 33 Cold, says hop on my back, run into the zone, and hits the monstrous striker pump shot to get him a huge payday.
And take a look at it one more time from the bird's eye view. Cold secures the second with a huge elimination there. Donnie and Mac would get to close the tournament out with a nice victory royale finish from the height in clean fashion. The veterans at least get to put one big strike on the board there, and that